My name is Peter Leroy. This is my store. I've been selling pens and paper and ink through.
Hey,
Hello.
how's it going?
Good. Do you have a moment before your appointment to check in about the budget a little bit?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, do we set aside some money for tech materials?
Mm.
And I was looking at Jayo's things, like they are doing something at Story Center right now, and most of them is like you just need a tablet, laptop, or, you know?
Yep.
Hi, Amy. Hi, Edgar.
Hi, this is Mama here, and she's gonna join, and I'm gonna leave because she's. And Adele is in Brussels, and we just sent her the link. She should be on really soon.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Good luck. She wanted to know what creativity means, so maybe this discussion will help her because her English. She's only had 1 year of English. All right. Fun.
Hello.
How are you, Edgar?
I'm good, and you all? How is everybody doing today?
It's very gloomy. It's not giving me any motivation.
No, it's quite gloomy over here in Toronto today, and yeah, look at the window, and I'm like, I don't want. It took me a while to get up from bed this morning, but I was able to do it. So yes, that's a success already. Getting up from bed. How are you, Amy?
Oh, no, that's at Monomer.
I'm good. I'm very good.
Okay.
How are you, Edgar?
Oh, hi.
That's Amy, Edgar.
Oh, hi. Okay, perfect.
It's okay. It's more for her because she wants to apply for the contest. So, and did you just text Adele to join? Okay. All right. So I have to leave. I have another meeting, but she's totally capable of handling this on her own. So.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Great. Are we? We're gonna wait probably another few minutes for more participants to join in today. Are there more participants?
Yeah, it's supposed to be at least 11, but we'll see because people sign up and they don't show up. Like yesterday, we had no one.
Okay.
So
If not, it's gonna be one.
It's gonna be one. That's fine. It'll be just a good session to basically explore things a little bit and mainly just relax and reflect about the term creativity and how to think of good ideas for staying motivated and inspired to create things during the rough times we're dealing with this lately.
what's it like in Athens right now?
Oh yeah.
Me.
Yes.
It's good, but in these 2 days, the situation is not good about the corona because like I think 1800 they have the test was positive, and also nothing's going to be terrible for the corona.
Are you,
I'm still going to school.
Yeah, I think it's similar everywhere. Numbers are kind of increasing where we are right now too. So everyone's just kind of sitting and waiting just to see what happens. But it's I think it's quite late for you, correct? It's in the evening.
Yes, it's 6 in the evening. Yeah.
Okay, so you've had your day. We were just starting, so we're saying it's very not nice weather today. It's only about 11 a.m. for us. So we still have our Thursday to go.
We're just starting.
Well, I think maybe we wait one more minute. It'll be 5 after, and then maybe we get started. It's going to be recorded.
I think so, yeah. Are there any emails in that come in with tech support? But
Yeah, I just checked. I didn't see any either.
should we get started?
Sure, let's go for it.
Looks like you are our only participant, so you have a one-on-one session with us.
Yay, that's gonna be even more fun. So let's get started. Let's start by just stretching. Let's do a quick stretch. Use our arms and take a deep breath. Take another breath, and we're going to get our mind relaxed a little bit, just to think of creativity, which is the topic of today's session, creativity in quarantine. It's like, how do we keep ourselves motivated and inspired to create artistic pieces during the pandemic? And I think mainly outside of the box, because creativity is basically anywhere. You can find it whenever you least expect it. Now I'm going to quickly share the presentation.
Can't you see it, Edgar?
Sorry?
Can't you see the presentation?
No, I'm not seeing it.
How about you, Jess?
Yep, I can see the slides. Manamir, can you see the slides on the screen?
I'm gonna share it again because it's been there for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't get to see it.
You're not joining from a unit, are you?
Me, no. I'm on my computer.
Okay.
That is weird.
How about now?
Nope. Can you all see it?
Jessica, do you still see it?
I can still see it. Yeah.
That is weird.
Okay, how's this? I'll try this. The old-fashioned way. I'm gonna stop sharing. And I'm going to. How about now?
Oh, yes. Now I can see it.
Okay.
Perfect. Yay. So let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So well, let's think of the word creativity. Creativity is a very, if we think of it, it's a quite of an abstract term, and it basically, what do we think when we think of creativity? We usually think of creating things, or creating, being, I'd say, like as mentioned earlier, thinking outside of the box to create something new, different, outstanding that creates some sort of impact. When we think of creating something new for exploring our own creativity. And what does it mean to you? What do you think when you hear the word creativity? How do you feel when you think of the word creativity? When I think of creativity, I think of just all the different things that design goes into different way. Oh, I forgot to present myself. I'm Edgar, and I am a graphic designer at Taking It Global, and part of Adobe as well, the Adobe team. And as a graphic designer, I tend to use creativity a lot for coming up for all the different ideas for promoting, for all the promotional materials, all the posters or banners. And I used to work before mostly for printing, and now because of the pandemic, we've been transitioning more and more for the digital world. So this new transition to adapt this creativity from the print world to digital has been quite of an interesting challenge, because as mentioned earlier, since creativity is everywhere and it's on different ways, adapting to these new media has been quite of an interesting journey. And creativity stays the same. It doesn't matter what field you are into, creativity is there, and it's there for you as a tool to use. And once you apply it for different sources, you can also be fascinated and surprised of how many things you can create without you least expect it. Can we go to the next slide?
Yeah. Jess, do you want to share what creativity means to you?
Yeah, I was just gonna say for me, I'm not so much like a visual artist per se. So it's kind of interesting. So actually, those are my feet in the picture there. So for me, creativity is more about movement and sound. So when I think about creativity, I think about what inspires me to kind of push myself, as Edgar said, like outside of the box. To kind of, because they're going to use the word creative, and I was like, well, it's an abstract word. But I guess maybe to express myself is the best way I would say. So when I'm thinking about creativity, how am I going to express myself? Is that in movement? Is that in certain colors that I like to wear? Is that being in certain places that kind of inspire me? So it's more about how can I express my feelings when I think about creativity. Yeah.
Okay.
Tanya?
I would say creativity means to me to be inspired. It could be finding inspiration to anything. And also, I feel like creativity helps me relax. When I'm creative, it is more of a relaxing thing. So, I know it's a bit very different. Like either I get really inspired and want to do something, or you know what, I'm being creative and I'm creating something. Even it could be like baking or cooking something, because there's creativity there. Or seeing, the flowers. So for example, I love sunflowers, so every time I see it, I end up buying it, and I feel like that helps me relax. And I think arranging a flower is where I show my creativity. Standing outside in the nature and you see a tree or you see something interesting and taking a picture, and like that's being creative. So for me, it's a very big word, but it also can come down to something very, very simple.
Monomere, would you like to share it all, or do you want to wait until we go a little bit further?
Before I came here, I didn't know about the creativity. Amy told me that. But I think the thing that you are creativity in this, like the thing that you like it, you love it. I think something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of what we'll be exploring later on, which is basically, yes, what makes you feel happy, what makes you just in general make you feel better, since there seems to be like a connection between just feeling good and feeling comfortable, feeling healthy and feeling great with yourself, connected to creativity. It seems like whenever you're feeling the best, it's when the creativity just pops out on its own. And on the next slide we have here, as mentioned by Bruce Gorbran, that yes, creativity doesn't wait for a perfect moment; it just sparks. And for me, whenever I'm working or whenever I like to do illustrations. Whenever I'm stuck and I don't know what to do, or I know that I want to start a new illustration, but I really don't know what I want to do, I just take a break and I go out for a walk, and then once I'm back and I got a bit of fresh air, I start the kettle on and I prepare a cup of tea, just setting all the mood for feeling inspired and creative, making sure my desk is clean and organized, and popping out all my color pencils, my paints, everything just to feel comfortable and ready to create, and also to tell myself that on the next hour or so, I'm going to be creating something new, and more important, I'm going to be having fun. I'm going to be enjoying this time for myself. Because it's also, I find it like creativity is also connected to your own space, to have your own personal space to create things.
We have the fun video. Do you want to explain the video, Edgar?
Sure. Now that we're speaking of abstract terms such as creativity, we have another abstract example, which is dignity. And when we think of illustrating, or when we think of, how to say it, to putting all those abstract terms into a visual, like, for example, creativity, it is very hard because it can't be displayed in so many ways. And dignity is another example. And we have this funny clip from The Simpsons that we could play just to exemplify that situation.
Come on, Luann, you know what this is.
Kirk, I don't know what it is.
Oy, it could not be more simple, Luann. You want me to show this to the cat and have the cat tell you what it is? 'Cause the cat's gonna get it.
I'm sorry, I'm not as smart as you, Kirk. We didn't all go to Gudger College.
It's dignity! Gah! Don't you even know dignity when you see it?
Kirk, you're spitting.
Okay, genius, why don't you draw dignity? Oh, there's dignity, all right.
Worthy of Webster's.
This clip, I want to use that image as dignity, because that is what actually I see it more, and I associate it automatically to dignity. So I think that should be the image. So for creativity, going back to our creativity topic, let's deconstruct the term or the word into much simpler ways by questioning things like what makes you feel happy, what do you like doing that makes you happy, or what are some of your hobbies. Since all of these stimulate creativity, let's talk about all these different aspects. Would you guys like to share some of the answers for these questions?
Yeah, I can start. Okay, so what makes me feel happy? So for me, actually, so something that's a little bit, it's on here as well too, but being by the water, it absolutely just brings a smile to my face. I don't have to be on the water in it. I could just be by it. And I just find that there's so many different things you can do. You can go for a walk. You can go swimming. There's different water activities. There's the sound of the water. So sometimes being by the ocean with the waves and the fresh breeze, there's smells associated to it. So kind of like all of the, just like we talked about the atmosphere and the environment of being by a body of water, it just makes me feel really kind of happy and excited, but also peaceful and calm. And so it kind of inspires me to just kind of maybe go with what I'm feeling in that moment. And then also I love that we have a picture of a dog. So like, you know, dogs make me happy. They make me excited. And I probably have way too many photos on my camera of my dog because she's very goofy and silly. And it's just fun to play with her and to have a good time.
Cute. Nice. Thank you, Jess. How about you, Tanya?
What makes me happy? I would say, to be honest with you, sunshine. It doesn't matter if it's cold or hot. Having a good sunny day makes me happy, and usually those are the days I feel the most inspired and most energetic to do things. So it could be like, you know, looking at the pictures, it's like, you know, like going to the park because it's a nice warm day, or baking something, or doing a puzzle, or spending time, you know, with your animals or other animals. So like those are the things I would inspire me to be creative.
Nice. Thanks. I like I've been learning lately that what makes me happy is silence. I've been enjoy silence. Just taking deep breaths, meditating, and also just doing my stuff while appreciating silence. Making sure that just listening to everything, listening to all the environment is quite of an interesting thing. And that in combination with deep breaths and also sunny days are fantastic as well. Going out for walks and exploring the city and just looking at everywhere, being aware of the surroundings and looking at what's going on. It makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel great. It makes me feel more. It makes me happy and it makes my head refreshed for feeling creative as well.
Monomer, do you want to share?
Yes. And the thing that makes me happy is the children, the kids. When I see them that they are playing, it makes me feel happy. And the thing that I'm doing is to go out for a walk. Is to listen to music. It's sometimes maybe go to the sea. That's it.
What are some of your hobbies?
My hobbies. I don't understand hobbies like.
Oh, hobbies are pastimes or things that you enjoy doing on your free time?
Like activities. So
reading a book, watching movies, or like listening to music.
If I listen to music and read book,
yep.
Sometimes I'm watching movie that they are editing the videos on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
Do we want to do that process, or do we want to go?
Do we want to? Sure, I guess we can skip the design process. We can think of more of the topic, which is the quarantine aspect of the of the topic. Is okay. Now we are in pandemic, and some places have also started the lockdown, meaning going back to your own house, your own room. And well, I'm an introverted person, so I don't really mind being locked down because there's always something fun to do at home. And it brings to the question of what can we do to create our own art pieces. Basically, just think of what are things that you have available at your place, and it could be music, it could be painting, video editing, writing, reading, stop motion. These are just some of the few examples that we explored on how to create art pieces. It doesn't have to be necessarily just one painting or one visual thing. It could also be, as you mentioned, video editing or writing, reading, and it's also. Oh, we have a new guest. Hi.
I think they're just muted at the moment, Edgar. We can
Sure.
keep going. Yeah.
Sure. No worries. And and then think of what you have available at your place on how to start creating your new things. Also, think of the technology we have available. Everybody, and this is me just assuming, everybody has a phone. So a phone has wonderful applications and tools for creating new things. There are applications for drawing. There are applications for video editing. The photography is also another one to mention, which is very important. Just taking a nice pic is also quite of a whole art. And
yeah, I just want to add, like for this contest, you don't have to have a lot of those fancy tools. Like we actually think like what makes you happy. And all the pictures you see on the posters are actually taken by technical staff member, and I'm pretty sure I can say at least 90% or even all is taken through your phone. At least my pictures were taken through our phones. And whatever editing tools, not in the fancy Adobe editing tools, like whatever the tools my phone came with, I just edited a little bit. Like for instance, the one in the middle, like this one, is one of my pictures. And that's just when I was baking and I was making some dessert. And there's this blueberry and there's just the dough. And I thought it looked pretty. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to take this picture. And then I just edited on my phone and to give that more of the blue, make the blueberries pop a little. So for me, even though I was baking, I thought it looked pretty, and that's me being creative. So like this is more about, for this contest, it could be any pictures, but you have to explain like, okay, this is how I was being creative. I was being creative at the beginning of like shelter in place. So when we went to lockdown, more through like baking and cooking and doing things like that. Kind of stopped doing that now because I think maybe I got bored or I don't want to clean anymore. But that's when in the beginning I was cooking a lot, so that was how I was being creative, and that was how me and my family were enjoying time together. Jess, do you want to add anything on that, like about the art or about what kind of pieces we are looking for?
Yeah, I think you covered it. So mainly with the global gallery, go through how to upload, but it does support like JPEGs, so like photo images, but also videos. So even if you wanted to do like a bit of a collage with your photos, if like you wanted to kind of put it together and edit it to become like a video, we're not really picky on what type of medium that you want to produce. And as Tanya mentioned, we do really want to almost hear the story behind why whatever you captured in that image, why it was important to you, and like why you felt it was, you wanted to share it with everyone else based around the term of how you felt creative in that moment. So it's just as much about the piece that you're submitting as kind of what it means to you, as we talked about earlier. So kind of, why are we sharing it? So when we write the description and submit that part's important.
As for just make sure your artwork is respectful and you're not being disrespectful. And other than that, all type of artwork is welcome. So here's actually some examples that were submitted by other young people from on some of our programs. And as you can see, this is very simple pictures people have taken and edited. The first picture over here is like basically a picture of a street corner, and of course the person edited the picture, and that was like they being creative. And the second one is like a picture, the person had to share the description. It's like a spending time with their grandma, and they were learning for the first time because everybody was at home. they were spending time with their grandma and learning about gardening, so they took a picture through that. And the last one is just spending time with the family. There's a black and white picture, it's kind of hard to see, but it's like one of the girls are standing outside. So it's like, it could be simple as that, something you did with yourself or with your family or with your siblings or with your grandparents or even with your pets that help you relax and makes you feel inspiration, makes you feel creative. So, Edgar, I think you're shaking your head. Do you want to add anything or?
I was just mentioning that I was just thinking, sorry, that it could be any subject if there's a photography that it doesn't necessarily have to be like one like it doesn't have to be like you have to create something and then post a photo of it. It can be basically anything that sparks creativity, and also like the moment, like whenever there are moments that you just grab your phone, you're just walking, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that could make a great picture, and then you just take out your phone and then you just start playing with it and playing with different angles, different positions, and then you take a photo and then you're like, oh, that actually looks quite cool, without realizing how or without putting too much thought into it. Sometimes it's just that spark, that moment that it just happened to you, and whenever you just go back to your phone to make sure to just review all the images that you've taken, you realize that a bunch of those ones are quite good, that you just didn't expect them to be there.
Does anybody have any questions about the artwork? Okay, there's one more video that we want to show. It's basically videos that was Jeff, I think you know, Vilma, do you want to explain it?
Yes. So this is a bit of a video, like multiple videos that they edited together as one. It's actually familiar. So this was done in Athens, Greece, and it was done by youth who participated in the organization called Exile. And so what they asked is, from their homes, they asked youth to take videos of the sunsets. So from their perspective, from wherever they lived in the city, and kind of what they saw as sunset during quarantine. And then they edited it all together, so all the clips were one, and they added music to it.
That's nice and simple.
Yeah, as I was going to say already. As you can see, it's a very simple video. There is just people filming what sunset looks like to them, and somebody just like putting in like I think Adobe Rush or Adobe Premiere, and just adding some music in the background and made a video clip. Okay, now the fun stuff. Submitting in Tig's Global Gallery. So the website was shared with all of you as to where the Global Gallery looks like and what you have to do when you submit it. Once you are on the website, you will have, if you go scroll down, you'll see something called Submit Now, and you just click on that, and it will ask you to log in to your Tig account. That's because we want to know your name, your age. So, and whenever we do share any of these pictures with any other projects or in a exhibition that we do a lot online or in person, whenever that's possible in the future, we just want to make sure that we give you the proper credit. Like for instance, we had a Global Gallery contest last year, and this year many of these artwork are showcased at the UN virtually at the UN Youth Assembly. So when they are showcased, we want to make sure the artist name where you're from, your age, and of course the description is presented so people understand your artwork. So we do those a lot. And it's very simple to create your Take account. You can also just log into your Facebook as well if you are comfortable. So it's automatically filled. You don't have to create something new. And do you want to add anything, Jessica, or should we just move on? All right, so submitting an artwork. You can upload an image or a video. There are some things that are required because we need those to showcase your work. Of course, the title, the description, like why did you create this art piece, or for us, it'll be like why did this piece made you feel creative, and it could be as simple as, like we said, like I was walking through the park and I saw those beautiful flowers, and I thought the way it was presented was very creative. I edited it on my phone, and it made me feel inspired, so I want to share it with all of you guys. So it doesn't have to be a whole essay, it could be a couple of sentences. Jessica, Edgar, do you want to add anything to the artist statement because you're an artist?
I think that's usually a funny one of how to write down what you. I'm not a writer. I'm more of a visual person. So when I think of writing, I either write a short sentence of "Oh, that's a sunset," or I could get super inspired and write down a whole description of the whole behind the scenes of that photography. So it doesn't really matter. It really it's up to you of how much you wanna describe the piece.
Uh-huh.
If it's a piece that I've worked on, like going back to illustrations, if it's an illustration I worked on, I like to write down what are my sources of inspiration, or how did it started, or how I like to do my work, and also speaking of the technique, and also speaking of the subject itself, like what is behind the story of, if I do a character, for example, I love character designing, and I draw a new character, I like writing down a whole story for this new character, where it comes from, what is it like, or what it's like, and everything. So it's up to you of how much you want to provide the description for your art piece, and there is no limitations on that. I don't think we have a character words. So it's up to you.
So don't stress about how long it has to be. Don't stress about if it's too long. I don't like writing either. For many of us, English is a second language as well, so don't get too stressed. And one thing I do want to say, if you want to write in your own language, you're more than welcome to, because this is a global gallery, and if we ever showcase it, we will translate it and share it with you to be like, is this the right translation? So we welcome you to use your own language, whatever language you're comfortable the most at expressing it. Okay, so the deadline is December 6th, 2020. We have actually quite a few prizes to give out. It will be based on voting, and the voting will be done internally by our Ticking Global staff. So after December 6th, the competition will be closed, and we'll vote. I think the first grand prize is a 360 GoPro camera, but we have other things as well. I can't remember on top of my head. So there's quite a bit of things to give. If you guys ever have any problem with uploading and you don't know, you can email us, and we will support you with it. You can also talk to your organization lead. They can also contact. They definitely have a contact, and they can tell us. For some reason, if your image is too big and you can't go up, again, let us know. Share it with us, through Dropbox or Google Drive, or we transfer something, and we will figure out how to make sure that your art piece is in the global gallery and people see it and people vote for it. Jess, do you want to add any last inspirational words?
Maybe not inspirational, but a key thing we've been asked before is that there isn't a limit to how many times you can submit. So we're not looking for just one submission. You don't have to pick one. If you find that you have a few pieces that you want to submit, anywhere from 2 to 3, and then the deadline, like the competition's still open, and say you're out and about and you're just like, oh, I really love this. There is no cap. So you can submit as much as you want onto the global gallery, and all of it will be considered when we do the voting for the prizes. So it's not one per person, it's as many as you feel like you'd like to share within the space.
I think Ariane had a question about slide number 11. So Ariane, so this is the global gallery contest. Since there's only a couple of us, I can actually like show you. So when you click on the link, then it will take you to the contest page. So as you can see, we have 2 submissions already, and this is what it will open. And I'll share the links with you when I do a follow-up email with the slides, the recording, any steps, and what you have to do if you get stuck anytime. And because I am actually, let me do a private browser. That would be better. So when I press, didn't even work. Let me sign out. So when I press submit now, it will ask me to do this. And most of you might not have an account, but if you, one thing also you can be done, for instance, Global Girl Greece, if you guys want to create one organizational account and submit everybody's art piece, that also works. And you can put the name of the artist, name of the description, all in the description, so we know how to create it. So it could be like, I want to create, and it could be the name of your organization, and the username is the name of your organization. So when you click submit, if you don't have an account, you have to go to click create your account, and it's pretty simple. That's all it asks. It's not a lot of like other websites where you have to submit a lot more information. So if I actually do our other account, then it will bring you to submit your artwork. So what is the title, your description, your name of the artist, which is important, which is your name, your age, just because in order to be eligible for a prize, you have to be between the age of 13 to 30. So it's a huge range. So anyone in the age range can win a prize. And you're submitted for creativity in quarantine, so it's already selected for you. If you did it with other people, so for instance, like let's say I did it with Jessica, I will write her name, so they will know who they did it with. You can do hashtags if you want to. Some people in the past, you can see they love, community, passion, Adobe. This is auto-filled. The country you're from, the language. So what language, if you have a different language that you want to submit. If not, you can always do English to default and make everything in the language you want. What is your medium? So we have quite a bit of a list. And for some reason, if it doesn't show up something that you're doing, please let us know. Most of you would be photography or mixed medium. Any of the issues that your piece showcases. For default, if you don't want to think too much, you can always click culture, because that's what it is. Like, this is right now what is happening around the world, and we're all in quarantine, and we want to be we're looking for a way to be creative. So click culture. And lastly, it's like the copyright. So like you could be like, I don't want you to share my media pieces with anything. So we will respect that, and we wouldn't share it with anything else. And if you can say yes, you can share it. So, and when we share your media pieces, it's mainly for either if we ever do another creativity in quarantine global gallery contest, we might use that in the poster. We like to show off all the artwork that you guys create, so we might show them off in our social media. And if not, the last thing, like I said, it will be an exhibition. So if you're like, I don't want you guys to share it anywhere, you can click no. And if you're like, yes, you can. But you can also do non-commercial and non-derivative works only. So it means it's not showcased in anything to sell a product. And we don't do that as an organization. We are non-profit. So it's either going to be like showcasing to a social media exhibition. And if we ever create any posters, for creativity or talking about youth artists or youth art, why it is important, we might share it through that. Anything else, Jessica or Edgar, you want to add to that? This part I know is a bit confusing. A lot of people get confused what they're into it. If you don't know, you can say no. For me personally, if I was an artist, I would probably choose yes, but non-commercial only. So it is more like don't use my product or my art piece to sell anything, in which we don't do. We don't sell anything.
Yeah, and by the no derivative works means that I think it also includes the edition. That as an artist, you that first of all the copyright is all yours. It belongs to you and only you. So it's your decision solely if you want to share or not the copyright. And one aspect of the copyright involves the edition. Sometimes when we do, for example, social media promotion or any other sort of media promo, we like to we like to do some photo retouchings just to make sure the image looks the best for media display. And if you are not comfortable with those photo editings and other sorts of editions, you're more than welcome to say no. That you like to share your art piece and you'd like it to be the way it is. If it's going to be shared and it's going to be displayed on media, that it could be it can stay the way it is with no additions, no photo additions, no editing, no anything, and that would include the no derivative works.
And when Edgar say edit, it could be like maybe cropping a little to fit the thing, maybe changing a little bit of color to fit the tone, but never like making sure, never altering your work at all. It's still gonna look the same, maybe just like slight tweaks here and there. And it's always going to make your artwork look to fit the theme or make it look a little better, but it's never taking it. And whenever we do share any artwork, we always give the credit to you, your name, where you look at it from, and your age, and of course your description of your artwork. Anything else, Jessica, you want to add before we?
No, I think you guys covered it. If, as Tanya mentioned, you're going through this and you have a question or you're just finding it a little bit tough, definitely email and we can help you. But setting up an account is super easy. And as an organization, you can set up an account and submit all of your pieces with individual artist names. We've had organizations do that in the past. I believe Tanya just put in the chat the youth media email. So Amy also has that, Monamir. So so youth media is where you can email us. And I think that's about it.
All right. Is there any other questions?
I have a question, sorry.
Yeah.
For the summit that we are to with my friend that unfortunately she couldn't join because she has a problem with the phone. Should two of us apply for this or not, just one of us?
You can apply both. Both of you apply for it. You can apply as many as you want. So one person can upload as many pictures as you want. So there's no limit.
Okay. And if you made it by our own film, can we use that or no? Should we have to make it new?
No, you can use old picture.
Okay.
Yeah, if you old photos or old films that you feel speaks to the topic for this contest, you're more than welcome to upload those. It doesn't have to be new from today onwards. It can just be from the year 2020, the past couple of months, anything you've experienced.
Okay, thanks.
I guess would be just the overall, to keep in mind the overall quarantine aspect of it. That just thinking that the theme is quarantine, so it'll be also related to that. And I mean, quarantine involves all the change and the pandemic and the social distancing and everything that is related to such, which is I guess part of the topic.
Mm-hmm. Is there any more other questions?
I guess one last thing to mention is that just a reminder that since we are in the quarantine and we're going through the pandemic, don't forget to keep your your measures. Always have your hand sanitizer, your face mask, respect the social distancing. If you're planning to go outdoors and take photographs, always make sure to follow the regulations in your country. And and then that'll be the only thing to keep in mind for all of this. Always keep safe and healthy.
Yes.
I was just going to say, as you're creating, just make sure that you're keeping yourself safe and then others safe while submitting stuff for the contest.
All right. Thank you for both of you joining. And we will definitely follow up with all the slides and more of the instructions and also the recording of today's session so you guys can look back anytime when you are creating or when you're working with other young creatives to help them submit to this contest. You can email us and we're more than happy to support you. Right. Thank you for joining and have a great rest of the day because it's different times for everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye for now.